This semester in dance company, I performed as a gypsy and firebird in Madeline's piece Komorebi, two student choreography works, and I was cast as an understudy in Brian's piece. I feel like this semester I learned a lot about performance and helped me a lot with my movement, especially contemporary because most of the pieces were contemporary, so I feel like I've grown a lot in that aspect. My expectations for Madeline's piece, I think, were that we were going to be portraying more a story or an array of stories based on all of the recent disasters that have occurred, which I was pretty interested with from the beginning of the process. And I figured it would be just as much of a performance aspect as a storytelling and technical aspect, which was really cool to get the mix between all of those. I feel like I learned a lot from that. And I feel like it was a really nice chance to develop more of an emotion on stage, which we don't always get to do with, say, ballet pieces. And we got to put like our personal feelings into it, which was something really special and something really different that we don't usually get to do when portraying a character in ballet pieces. You're just told, be this person, but it was really nice to be yourself on stage, which was what we don't usually get to do. And I feel like I ensured this by trying to put a different twist on it every time I ran it, or you have a different feeling going into it every run. And usually we're told to leave our emotions like out of the studio, but it was nice to use what you were feeling that day, whether it was happiness or sadness, and just put it all into what you were feeling. And it always turned out a little different, which was also really cool to see. One thing I learned from the process was that you kind of have to take what you're given and run with it, no matter what you're feeling about it or what you may feel that you look doing it. And I learned that in order to do this, you kind of have to like take time out of the studio to discover what looks best or what works best for you in regard to like physical movement as well as emotion. Because in Komorebi, a lot of the process was about like emotion and acting, and not just about like straight legs and pointed feet. So that took a lot of time outside the studio to like think about how you yourself could emote that emotion the best, because it's different for everyone. And I also learned that collaboration is a huge part in the choreographic process, and what the choreographer might think, they might be thinking about something and like have a vision, but it could be completely different when they see it put on real bodies. So you kind of have to take what you're given and like put whatever you think is good into it, because it could really change the way they see something, and their vision might get enhanced or even better by something that you change and like tweak. So it's always important to step up and try new things as a dancer, because it could help the choreographer a lot. And it's really cool because it gives you a leadership role, in that like you get to help almost and like put part of yourself into the piece, and you're not just doing what someone else is telling you, which is really also helpful. One key insight that I think I learned from performing Komorebi is it takes a really different approach when you can play yourself in something and not have to portray a character. I found it like very liberating that I could step on stage and not have to say that I'm being someone else, but I'm being myself in these situations that we were talking about, which was really cool. And I feel like I learned a lot about like the acting and performance aspect, which helps and goes like a long way in like all of any career for any piece or any type of dance that you're doing. And another key insight that I think I learned was that you might be put in a piece which has a style that may not be your strongest, may never have been your strongest, but you're given the opportunity and it's really exciting. And you have to use a lot of confidence and you have to emote a lot of confidence, because people can see when you might be insecure or might not, or may think you don't look the way you want to look when you're doing something. But you really have to step out of your comfort zone. And I think I learned that in all my classes and all my performance pieces this semester, that dancing big and stepping out of your comfort zone really makes it 1,000 times better, and 1,000 times like better for anyone watching, and makes it more readable. And anyone watching, audience, doesn't even know that you may not be doing something that is your strongest, because you have so much confidence, so no one would even know that you're doing something that you may not feel comfortable with. But I think a lot of these pieces have pushed me to my limits, but challenged me in a way that made me really grow. and I really like how this program gives you opportunities to dance in every style, and because it really pushes you, and I felt like I grew a lot this semester in dance company and in all my classes.